Hello, how are you? Welcome back to our lesson. And in this lesson today, we shall learn about seed dormancy. Have you ever experienced a situation whereby when you plant seeds, they fail to germinate? For those who have actually practiced agriculture, sometimes you might have actually planted seeds, and then you wait for the seeds to germinate, but they do not germinate, and yet they are viable. Okay. So what is that actually condition, or what is the name of the condition whereby a viable seed or a viable seeds or a seed fails to germinate, even if all the conditions necessary for germination are provided? So that type of condition is what is called seed dormancy. So today we shall learn about seed dormancy, and I hope that we shall actually follow up. So we shall actually discuss about the definition of seed dormancy, the factors that actually contribute to seed dormancy, and the methods of breaking the seed dormancy. That is all about this lesson. So have actually a nice time, and let us enjoy the lesson. Now, so seed dormancy refers to state where a viable seed is a viable seed is incapable of germinating, even when all the conditions are favorable. That is what we call seed dormancy. A state where a viable seed is not able to germinate when all the conditions necessary for germination are favorable. Okay. Now, during this period, the seed inside or the embryo inside undergo several developments. All other physiological processes like respiration occur inside the seed during seed dormancy. Okay. Therefore, during this period, the seed still requires supply of oxygen, and also it utilizes little food. Okay. Now, what do you think is the significance or the biological importance of seed dormancy? So point number one is that it gives embryo time to reach maturity. And in some species of plants, when the fruit ripens, okay, the seeds may not be fully matured. So the seeds has to undergo a resting period whereby it will not be able to germinate until it becomes fully mature. So this, okay, the significance of seed dormancy is that one, it gives embryo time to reach maturity. Number two, it gives time for dispersal. Okay. In that, the seeds may be born from a certain plant, but for them to be dispersed to another site, okay, during that particular time, we expect, or the seeds actually should not be able to germinate in transit. Therefore, seed dormancy will give time for dispersal to occur. Another reason or importance of seed dormancy is that it allows plants to survive adverse conditions. It allows plants to survive adverse conditions, okay, without depleting their food reservoirs. Okay, so these are the biological significance of seed dormancy. So to summarize, I've said one, it gives time for the embryo to mature. Number two, it gives time for dispersal. And number three, it allows plant to survive some adverse conditions, some adverse environmental conditions. Okay, good. Now, let us discuss about the factors which may cause seed dormancy. What are some of the factors that may cause seed dormancy? Seed dormancy may be actually contributed by a number of factors. Some of these factors may be internal, that is, they may be found within the seed itself. And also some of these factors may be external, that is, they may be caused by the external environment. Okay? So we are saying that the internal factors may include the following. So these factors will actually originate from within the seed itself, not outside or not in the environment. And these factors may include: one, presence of some growth inhibitors inside the seed. There might be presence of some growth inhibitors. Is it clear? So these growth inhibitors may include abscisic acid. This will inhibit germination. Okay. Number two, maybe the embryo itself may not be fully developed. So if the embryo is not fully developed, then seed dormancy may arise. Number three is absence of hormones. There are some hormones that will actually trigger germination. So if there is absence of such hormones, or if they are inactive, then we can say that seed dormancy may occur. So such hormones include the gibberellins and cytokinins. Or there might be absence of some enzymes which are very important in germination, as we shall see later. So if such growth factors are missing, then seed dormancy may occur. Lastly, under internal factors, we have impermeability of seeds or seed coat. So if the seed coat are impermeable, okay, they will prevent entry of water and air, like in wattle seeds. This will actually result to seed dormancy. Now, let us talk about external factors. So external factors, these now are factors that are found outside the seed that actually bring about seed dormancy. Good. Now, the external factors may include: one, unsuitable temperature, like freezing of seeds during winter will lower their enzymatic activities. So if the temperatures are unsuitable or they are not optimum, the seeds may not germinate. Number two, we have absence of certain wavelength of light. You know, the light actually is a source of energy. Okay. So the light exists in different wavelengths. So if in air there is absence of a certain wavelength, it may not cause some enzymes or some hormones to be active, hence preventing or bringing about seed dormancy. And also lack of oxygen. If there is lack of oxygen, automatically the seed will not germinate. Lastly, lack of water. If there is lack of water, then the seed may not be able to germinate. Okay. So now, how do we break seed dormancy? Ways of breaking seed dormancy. There are so many ways of breaking seed dormancy, such that when they are applied, the seed will start to germinate. Number one, we have scarification. Scarification. So what is scarification? This refers to scratching of the seed coat to make the seed coat permeable. So you can scratch the seed coat using a rough material like file, sandpaper. This will make the seed coat to be permeable, hence allowing germination to take place. Number two, we can also have vernalization. Vernalization. This is also known as cold treatment. So in some seeds like wheat, they can be subjected to some cold conditions. This will trigger germination. We also have burning, which is also called nicking, or exposed to some little heat, as in wattle seeds. This will trigger germination. Apart from that, you can also have destruction of germination inhibitors. If there are some germination inhibitors, then they can be destroyed, hence breaking seed dormancy. Now, another one is natural, whereby the embryos become mature, or we can talk of maturity of the embryos. So when the embryos become mature, then the seed dormancy will be broken. That is, the seeds will start to germinate. And another one is to increase concentration of hormones which bring about germination. These include cytokinins and gibberellins. This will stimulate germination. Okay. And last but not least, we have subjecting the seeds to some wavelength of light to trigger production of hormones like gibberellins, leading to breaking of dormancy. Remember earlier, we have said that absence of some wavelength of light will bring about seed dormancy. So this means that if such wavelengths are produced, if such wavelengths are actually provided to the seed, or the seeds are subjected to the wavelength, then they will trigger production of some hormones like gibberellins, which will stimulate germination, hence breaking seed dormancy. So this means that we have come to the end of our discussion about seed dormancy. So to ask a few questions, what do you understand, or what have you learned about seed dormancy? That is, what is seed dormancy? We have said this is a condition whereby seeds will not be able to germinate, even if all the conditions necessary for germination are provided. Okay, yeah, we've said that seed dormancy is a state where a viable seed is incapable of germinating, even if all the conditions necessary for germination are provided. Okay. And what is the biological significance of seed dormancy? We have said that seed dormancy will enable, seed dormancy will enable or will bring about, will give time for the embryo to reach maturity. It will also give time for dispersal, and also it will allow the plant to survive adverse conditions. Okay. Yeah. So, for today, I think we shall stop there. Let us meet again in our next discussion. Probably now we shall go ahead and discuss about germination after we have broken the seed dormancy. So we have highlighted and have said that seed dormancy is or occurs due to some of the factors. Some of them are internal, others are external. And finally, we have talked about how to break seed dormancy, and I've given 7 to 6 points. One is scarification, scratching of the seed coat to make it permeable. I've talked about vernalization, that is treating the seeds to some cold conditions. This will trigger production of hormones, hence leading to germination. We can also talk about burning or nicking. So we lightly burn lightly the seeds, like the water seeds, to make them permeable to the materials required for germination, and destruction of germination inhibitors. Then we've talked about maturity of embryo and increase in concentration of growth hormones like cytokinins and gibberellins. And finally, we have talked about Yeah, we've talked about subjecting all the seeds to some wavelengths of light. This will trigger production of hormones, hence making the seeds to germinate. Otherwise, have a nice time. Let us meet again in our next session. Bye-bye. See you.